today we have an important subject to cover about helping you make better investments for your baking business. Now, I'm Melissa Fryer. I'm the owner, the main mentor, the CEO at Build a Better Bakery. And if you crave a joyful and successful baking business while avoiding burnout and staying true to yourself at the same time, then you are in the right place. Go ahead and throw up a hashtag replay if you are watching this on the replay. Just make sure we are good and I can see comments. Okay, looks like I can see comments. So if you ever join me live, you can comment while we're discussing, and then you can become part of the conversation. Now, as I mentioned, today's topic is all about taking steps to protect you. When you begin to make your baking business investments, could be small, could be big, we want to make sure that you understand the basic concept of ROI and how it relates to the strength of your decisions. Might seem a little boring, might not seem super sexy, but I promise I'm going to talk for a few minutes. You're going to understand the basic concept of what I'm talking about, and I promise the next investment that you look to make will be better. So what we don't want for you is we don't want you to go into an investment situation without having a plan or a good idea of how you want the investment to play out. It can be really fun and really exciting to put your hat in the ring for certain investments. Don't get me wrong, I've been there, I've done that, but it doesn't always turn out well. And sometimes it can be kind of one of those really high highs, and it makes a really low low and things don't work out. So we're just trying to level it out today. Now, when we jump in without thoroughly investigating what we're getting into, that's kind of where it starts. And that could end up looking like a baker spending a bunch of money on something that they think might fix their business. They're not really sure, but they just feel like, maybe they're kind of desperate or they're just looking for a quick fix. So they throw a bunch of money towards something, and then they realize they really hadn't thought through the motions of how to make it work. And that's one way that we can get caught up in essentially a bad investment. And because January is focusing on new beginnings here at Build a Better Bakery, we're going to discuss ROI now so that when you make the next investments coming up this year for your business, you're going to have a much better chance of success. Okay, go ahead and throw up your hashtag live if you're here with me live. If you want to stay in the know about these lives, you can check the events here in the group. I usually post a day or two before. And if you send me a friend request on the Facebook platform, when I make the event, you automatically get invited. I can't invite the whole group, unfortunately, because it's too large. But if we are connected as friends through the platform, I have a public account, you can pay attention to me or not. But if we're friends on the platform, you'll get the invite too. So that's an easy way to get it. Or you can hang out on our email list where I send out some replay links and other resources, but it's not going to be everything that you see live. So kind of depends on how you want to get your information. I do go live here in the group every Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And sometimes I do also share via YouTube if you would prefer to watch replays in that type of replay format. All right, we're going to hop right in now. Let's first put something into perspective that can be hard to recognize if you have money mindset hangups. So not necessarily ROI, but I want you to think about something that most of us have, which is kind of a money mindset issue that happens for a lot of people. So I just want to say out loud, money is a tool. It's not bad. It's not good or special, really. It's just a tool in business. It has power, but it's the power that you give it. So you have to understand that money isn't the end all be all. And we're going to use it in our businesses rather than hoarding it or spending it without doing any kind of thought about saving plans or investments. So when you think about using money, if you can, either read some books on money mindset, that might help, watch some podcasts, and you're going to try to separate yourself from any emotional aspect that might get in the way of you investing wisely, because that could stop you dead in your tracks when you had a good investment, but you weren't able to do it because your money mindset wasn't in the right place. And we can't take the money with us, right? Like if you're making money in your business or you have some money set aside, put it to good use when you see a good ROI opportunity. And that's why we're talking about this today. So let's jump into the basic concept of what ROI is, and it means return on investment. That's what the ROI stands for. And just a note, today I'm going to be covering the basics, right? So how this concept can relate to a baker as you're building your business, but you could absolutely dig deeper into this concept after this session if you want to learn more about creating percentages, stock market information as far as ROI goes. There's lots of ROI deep dive info that I'm not going to cover today. I'm not a subject matter expert on ROI, but I want to explain to you 3 situations to where you can turn what might have been not a great investment opportunity into a better one as it relates to baking business. So at its core, ROI is the informed prediction of how your money and investments can work for you to create more money. And if it's a negative ROI, then it's not creating more money. So if you make more than you spend on the investment, you can say that you have a positive ROI on that investment, a positive return on investment, right? If you don't make more than your investment costs, you have a negative ROI. So looking at the long-term value of a purchase or investment and creating a plan first, this is the biggest thing here. Creating a plan first before the purchase is made is going to create a really nice situation for you to get started. And likely you'll see a good return if the numbers work out before you even make the purchase, right? So if you're crunching the numbers, they make sense. Unless something really catastrophic happens within the investment or that time frame, likely you'll end up with a good ROI. So ROI is not like shopping sales for fun. It's not like getting a deal. That's not what we're talking about. It's not like getting something just because it's cute or fun and you might use it one day. That's kind of an investment, but you haven't really planned anything out beforehand. So likely it might just turn into, you might not ever use it, or you might not even realize that's not going to be useful in the future, right? ROI is not like signing a lease on a whim just because you have a storefront dream and you want to fulfill it. If you haven't crunched any numbers, right, like that's not really using your return on investment knowledge because you're just signing away a bunch of money without really planning anything out. Investments made with return on investment in mind are purchases that are calculated and predetermined. I know not everyone loves math. I know not everyone's in that mindset, but I promise that if you can find a way to work that into your next investment idea, it's going to be a much safer bet. You can turn away from the investments that don't make sense and you can turn towards the ones that do. Because not all investments are good investments. When you're spending your money, it's not always a good choice. And sometimes things happen that get in the way of an investment paying off. That's just a risk of investment. And also note that you might see, some people will say, well, okay, if I just save my money in a savings account, then I'll get that interest, which you might see a teeny tiny little return on investment when you're saving money in something like a bank account. But what happens is it's likely lower than inflation. All right, so that means you're actually turning that money into less money over time because it's not building on itself fast enough. And so really money needs to be used in certain ways to produce more than something like just a standard bank account. I know everyone has their own opportunities, go for them. And saving money isn't bad. You know, I don't think saving money is bad, but if you're looking at that as an investment, that's really probably not going to work out. So we need to look at other opportunities. Now, what I want to do is run through how I determined the return on investment, the ROI probability on the freeze dryer. It's one of the newer, larger purchases that I've added to the business that I bought recently. I just want to walk you through the process. You can see how I kind of jumbled it up, crunched the numbers in my head. And then maybe next time you go to get something similar, you can kind of maybe do something kind of like that too, so you can get a better feel for what's going to happen. All right, so my goal when I purchased the freeze dryer was to pay off the machine's full cost and make back my entire investment within 1 year or less. It's a lofty goal because of, after I ran the numbers, I realized that, but that was my goal. That's what I want to try to hit. So what I did is before I bought it, I first calculated the price of the machine plus the extra tools that I had to buy for it and the extra utility bills that would come with it and needed to run the machine for 1 year. I just came up with a ballpark. This is what it's probably going to cost me. Then I looked at the amount of product that could be produced in 1 year with 75% capacity and time in use. So if I'm using it 75% of the time, how much can I actually get out of it? And then I crunched the numbers on what I would need to charge for each item. So we're going back to like costing a product, packaging, raw materials, stickers, everything that, the little oxygen absorbers, everything that goes into actually creating it. And then I added in, okay, what do I need to add to each of those to pay off my investment in under a year or a year's time? And then I took that number and I compared it to market pricing, either locally or just in the general industry, to see if it even made sense. Can I charge this much and be able to even hit this goal of 1 year repayment? So what I did is I adjusted the products that I would sell. I did some experimentation and I realized the lower labor times are what I need to have to hit my goal. The higher labor is out. So some things it just takes a lot of prep to get the freeze dried correctly. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do the products that are quicker. And I looked at the bag sizes. If we go a little bit smaller with a different shape and bag, then maybe we can get more out of production line than if they were larger bags, things like that. So I'm working through the numbers until they made sense or to push through the year with that product line and size. And then I just started from there, going into a series of production and then watching numbers of the materials, the utilities, anything that was possible to jump in cost. I've just been watching those to make sure that I'm not needing to raise prices to reach that goal by the end of the year. Now I'll say that we still aren't to the end of the first year of production. So I really don't have an answer for you if I was able to meet that goal or not, because it'll be another 4 or 5 months before I see that. And I'm likely not at 75% capacity because of some things have happened with the machine and us not being here. So I haven't been able to probably run it at 75%. So because of those setbacks, right, that was my goal, but I'm probably a little bit behind. I don't know if I'm going to meet it or not. But I will say that I have sold over 1,000 bags so far, and I can tell that this line is popular and valuable in the community. A lot of people ask me about it. A lot of people are consistently wanting to see more. So I know that even if I don't hit my 1 year goal for my full investment return, I know that it will come soon. If it doesn't come at 1 year, it will come soon. And I can move into that positive ROI as soon as possible, even if it's a little bit longer than that year, with the momentum that I've created. So I'm not giving up. I'm going to push through that year mark and see where we're at. Okay. Now, another example for those who buy things for fun. I know that's really, well, it's just popular in American culture right now. Shopping therapy, all of that. I know it's really popular in the baking industry though, too, because there's lots of doodads and little tools and cutesy cutters and things that people buy, maybe without a plan, but they're just buying it either because it feels good or it's nice to look at, or maybe they just want to own it. So I'm going to use this as an example. Let's say you would normally spend $100 on cookie cutters because they're cute. You go on a website, you fill your cart up, and it's $100, and you say yes because it's cute and it makes you feel good. But it's not really a good investment because there's no plan. But the way you could change that into a plan and you could still buy those cookie cutters. Let's say you saw the cutters you liked, but before you buy, you just do a quick pre-plan a sale. How can I actually use these? How could I create a set? How could I use these for an event or a holiday? And then how can you make a plan to sell enough cookies to create a positive ROI on the cutter purchase? That's all you're doing, right? You're just thinking a little bit through the steps of how you would make your money back before you're actually spending the money on the product. So basically just planning ahead rather than basically plan first, then money, okay? Or I also want to touch on something that's a little less tangible. So cutters are one thing, it's something you can hold in your hand. But let's say you're thinking of investing in something that is, it's something that's more helpful or supportive rather than an actual physical product, but you're still looking for a return. And we're going to use coaching as an example here. So in this instance, we can look at the value first, because you might get certain things like printables or courses or things like that. But the value is actually like you building in yourself, you getting more knowledge, you getting more skill, you getting support, you feeling better about being a baker and being a business owner. And so we're going to focus on the value. And the value might end up being a straight dollar-to-dollar exchange. You might literally spend $37 on a menu course that teaches you how to create a menu that attracts and sells. And then maybe you made an extra $37 in sales that next month when you use the menu. Boom, boom, return on investment, everything's good, right? You made the money back with the skills. That's a good thing to watch too if you ever do purchase something. See if you can trace dollar to dollar. Or let's say you spent it on something a little different, like $20 on a confidence workshop. It's a workshop to help you feel better about the trials of being a business owner. Would $20 be worth your peace of mind after you finish the workshop? You know, that might be, right? But that's a value thing. That's not really dollar to dollar. You're just saying, I need the support and I want to pay for the support. So that's how I'm going to do it. Sometimes what you spend won't be directly tied to what you make back, right? But if you feel better and you can see an increase in revenue because of that, or you can even just decrease your stress and working every day is less painful, when it comes to coaching, that could be considered a great investment, either dollar to dollar or just your feelings of being. If coaching is what you need to get to those places, then it would still be considered a great investment. I actually had a recent elite join the Platinum mentorship option, which is the highest dollar option we have. And within our first group coaching call, group coaching, by the way, he has private coaching as well available, but he just came to a group coaching call. He said it was worth $1,000 he spent. And to him, the support and the value were worth it from day one. He didn't have a question in his mind. Was it valuable to him or not? And yes, it was. And he knew on day one, group coaching call, that's it. This is perfect. This was enough, right? And he's got so much more to do and so much more support, but the value for him was there on day one. And everyone's different. You might not be like him. You might not be like me. When it comes to how people view being a business owner, if they're even open to accepting coaching or accepting anyone looking at what they're working on or asking questions, some people don't even want to do that. They're closed off. They don't consider coaching to be useful or valuable to them. And when it comes to that, to you, coaching might not seem like a good investment. For me, it's been one of the best investments I've ever made. It helped me start Build a Better Bakery. Likely it would even be here if I hadn't gotten mentors and hadn't gotten coaching because I opened myself up to the possibility of that. So what I want you to do is, if you're thinking about coaching with anyone, anywhere, just keep an eye out on the resources and the mentors that you are engaging with. Are they genuine? Are they honest? Do they share your values, right? These are all important things when it comes to person-to-person relationships, mentor relationships. Just keep an eye on those aspects. And it will often be a good outcome with the amount of support you receive if everything's aligned in that way. At least that's what we try to do here at Build a Better Bakery. Try to stay honest, genuine, and aligned with the people that matter to us most. So if you'd like to chat about ROI, I know it can be a little kind of up in the air if you've never thought about it before, or if you have an upcoming investment idea that you're thinking about and you haven't used your complimentary 20-minute session with me yet, everyone gets one. You get one 20-minute session, no cost. We literally just either on the phone or on Zoom, we sit down and chat about whatever you want to talk about. Let me know so I can send you the link over and you can choose a day and a time. You can comment 20 minutes or send me a DM, however it's easiest for you. Because it's really simple and straightforward and it's no sales. It's just helping you get a solution or helping you kind of think through something you're going through right now. I love doing it. So let me know if you want to talk. Or if you know you need to plan something out ASAP, you know, hey, we need to get an action plan. We need to figure out how this is going to work. I want to talk to Melissa. I want to get some things done. We can schedule a full session, which is an hour long. You can actually get to the nitty-gritty of whatever it is you need help with. And we can get you on your way to a profitable investment if that's what we're going to talk about. Or if you have another subject that we want to touch on, we can do that too. You can comment strategy or send me a DM. I can send you that link. Okay, I'm not seeing any comments, so I'm going to head out for the day. Thanks for hanging out with me. You know, I always love to see you Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Feel free to post in the group. We're all here, over 5,000 people ready to support you, see what you have going on in your business. If you have a thought or a question, go ahead and post. You can DM me directly if you are needing some extra help as well. I have resources and links galore, lots of information to send over to you. Just need to tell me what you are focusing on and I can send it over. All right, I am off to set up my porch pop-up and bag up some treats because we're going to leave for the weekend and I want to make sure all that's set up and ready to go. So I will see you later. Next week, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be our last new beginning session, and then we'll move on to February's theme. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.